NATO versus BRICS, key differences. Purpose and formation. NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Purpose. NATO is a military alliance formed for collective defense. Its primary aim is to ensure the security and stability of member states by deterring aggression and, if necessary, defending against military threats. Formation. It was founded in 1949 during the Cold War by 12 countries, mainly from North America and Western Europe, to counter the threat posed by the Soviet Union. Membership. NATO has expanded over the years and currently includes 31 member countries from Europe, North America, and some parts of the Mediterranean and Central Asia. This includes countries in Eastern Europe like Finland and Sweden, which joined in 2023. This marks a significant shift in NATO's presence in Northern Europe, especially in response to Russia's aggression in Ukraine. Focus on cybersecurity and hybrid threats. NATO's strategic concept in 2024 includes a focus on cyber threats, hybrid warfare, and the growing importance of artificial intelligence, AI, and space as new domains of warfare. The alliance continues to enhance its capabilities to deal with unconventional threats like cyber attacks, which could undermine critical infrastructure or disrupt national security. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Purpose. BRICS is an economic and political bloc aimed at promoting cooperation among major emerging economies. It focuses on development, trade, investment, and reform of global governance systems, particularly in areas like the United Nations, World Bank, and IMF. As of 2024, the group continues to focus on economic cooperation, trade agreements, and development in emerging markets. Formation. The term BRICS was coined in 2001, with the formal grouping starting in 2006 with the inclusion of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. South Africa joined in 2010. The newest members of BRICS are Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE. They were formally welcomed at the October 2024 BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia. Membership. The group consists of 5 large emerging markets from different continents: Brazil, South America, Russia, Europe, Asia, India, Asia, China, Asia, South Africa, Africa, Iran, Asia, Egypt, Africa, Asia, Ethiopia, Africa, United Arab Emirates, Asia. Political and economic focus. NATO. Primarily military and security-oriented. The BRICS countries also focus on multilateral diplomacy, often pushing for reforms in institutions such as the United Nations to increase representation for non-Western nations. Its Collective Defense Pact, Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, means that an armed attack against one member is considered an attack on all. Focused on countering military threats and ensuring peace and stability in its member states. BRICS focuses on fostering economic growth, improving political cooperation, and addressing issues like poverty, inequality, and sustainable development. Seeks to challenge the dominance of Western powers, like the US and the EU, in global affairs, particularly in economic and financial systems. Pushes for reforms in international institutions such as the United Nations Security Council and the International Monetary Fund to give greater voice to emerging economies. Ideological differences. NATO. Based on democratic values, collective defense, and the protection of human rights. Strong ties with the Western world, particularly the US and Europe. Supports liberal internationalism, which emphasizes a rules-based international order and free market principles. BRICS emphasizes multipolarity, equality, and non-intervention in the internal affairs of sovereign states. The members come from diverse political systems, democracies, authoritarian regimes, which often leads to a lack of uniform ideology. Advocates for a more equitable global order, challenging the hegemony of Western powers. Economic and military power. NATO. Dominated by the US, which provides the largest share of military funding and resources. As of 2024, NATO collectively accounts for about 60% of global military spending and has a significant technological and nuclear advantage. Its military infrastructure is unmatched, with a network of bases, surveillance systems, and cutting-edge weapons. BRICS, economically significant, representing around 40% of the global population and a substantial share of the world's GDP. While BRICS nations are major players in their respective regions, they do not have a collective military alliance like NATO. Their focus is on increasing economic cooperation, investment in infrastructure, and multilateral trade agreements rather than military power. Geopolitical influence. NATO plays a central role in transatlantic security and has significant influence in global political affairs. Often perceived as a military arm of Western powers, particularly the US, NATO is a key player in shaping global security policies. It has been involved in various peacekeeping missions, crisis management, and even military interventions, example in Afghanistan, Libya. BRICS seeks to create a counterbalance to Western geopolitical influence, advocating for more representation for emerging economies in global institutions. Focuses on South-South cooperation, aiming to reshape the global financial architecture and international norms. BRICS countries often push for reforms in the UN, World Bank, and IMF to give emerging markets more power in decision-making. Challenges and controversies. NATO faces internal disagreements, such as differing security priorities among members, example US versus European countries. Strained relationships with Russia and tensions with some countries over NATO's expansion. Debates over the organization's relevance in a post-Cold War world and its role in modern conflicts. BRICS. The countries within BRICS have different political systems, economic models, and priorities, leading to challenges in creating cohesive strategies. Despite common goals, BRICS faces internal challenges. The members are very diverse in terms of political systems, economic models, and priorities. For example, China and India have ongoing border disputes, and Russia's actions in Ukraine have caused tensions, especially with India and South Africa, who have taken more neutral stances on the war. The group's cohesion is often tested by these divergent interests, but it maintains a shared objective of reducing Western influence in global affairs. Strategic objectives. NATO remains a predominantly military alliance focused on collective defense, deterrence, and countering military threats, particularly from Russia and China. Its emphasis in 2024 is on bolstering defenses, especially in Eastern Europe and the Indo-Pacific. Addressing global security threats, including terrorism, cyberattacks, and regional instability. Ensuring the protection of member states and maintaining a deterrent against adversarial nations like Russia and China. BRICS, on the other hand, remains an economic and political coalition focused on economic development, global governance reform, and challenging the dominance of Western powers in the global economic and political systems. BRICS aims to create alternatives to the current Western-dominated institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and UN. Strengthening ties between developing economies to create alternatives to Western-dominated systems. Promoting a multipolar world where no single country or bloc dominates global affairs.